What's up, YouTube? So I'm right now driving to a closing on a property that I recently assigned to a cash buyer, and so this should be a decent assignment fee. Just on my way, just showing you all the process of it. I cannot film a lot inside, but I'll do as much as I can because of privacy information. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Before we go on, be sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on post notification bell, and comment down below. Now make sure you all watch till the end of this video as I explain how I was able to find this title company, how closing went, how I never met the seller until closing time, and the different title issues we ran into while trying to close this deal. Get it to the title company. Here's the building. So yeah, now my cash buyer is coming in right now. All right, so let's go.
Because when we get the power of attorney recorded, then I can mail it back to the physical address.
Okay. So that is all my information. If you want to give me your maybe cell phone number, maybe
Yes.
an email address or something.
Yeah.
And of course I do texting. Text me at anything. That's always a quick way.
Pack these cookies.
Now, number one is, how did I find this title company? I explained in different videos before how to find the perfect title company. I'll link it down below or up here somewhere. And basically, I just Google searched title companies around the area where I was investing. And I just started calling them saying, hey, do you all do assignments on contracts? Do you all do double closings? And this title company was able to do both. So they were familiar with wholesaling. And so it's very important to ask these questions to a title company that you're trying to find when wholesaling. Make sure they're wholesaling friendly, okay? Now, number two is, how did closing went? How did it go? Basically, it went well. Actually, we went in. It was right before Thanksgiving. It was this Monday, and the closing agent, she was really on top of it. She was like, okay, let's go into the room, let's close everything. And they signed the papers, the seller and the buyer. I received my check. The buyer actually paid for the closing costs for the seller. He could have just applied it to his account, but I didn't know if he was that familiar with that. So he brought in a cashier check to pay for the closing. After that, we received our money and whatnot, and the seller actually received her check, but she was wondering if she can cash out some of it that day. And so we had to talk to the closing agent about if there is a process that she can just receive like $5,000 out of what she got or something like that. And we referred her to the bank where the title company was printing the check from, and say, hey, you can go there. And this is a little side note funny, because I got this deal in a more rural area. It's not even rural, it's just more southern. And they were trying to explain to her where this bank was. And me, I can easily just Google map it and say, okay, it's right here, 3 minutes away. I'll just follow this. But they were explaining to her, hey, it's by this fire hydrant where this store used to be, and they built this church over there. It's by, this restaurant or other things like that. And I'm all like, it's on Church Street, And they're like, yeah. But it's just funny, the different dialects and the dictions that people use and how they communicate based on where you live. So that's basically how closing went. And yeah, I got my check and then went home. Now, how I was able to close this deal without ever meeting the seller until closing day. So basically, I saw the property, I contacted the owner. She contacted me through a direct mail piece. I called her back. Her mother actually owns the property, but her mother's out of it. She's in her 90s. And so the daughter actually holds the power of attorney. And so we couldn't really meet in person. And so we never met in person. We just called and texted about everything. And when I went to see the house, they weren't even there. Because she didn't want to disturb like her mother. Her mother was very sensitive and things like that. And so in a way, I kind of did this deal virtually, but I mean, I actually went to the property. So I guess not virtually, but I never met the seller until closing day. And thinking about it, I didn't even have to go to closing. I could have got the check mailed or wired, but I went to go in person and film a little bit for you all. And so, yeah, that's basically how I was able to close on this deal without meeting the seller. Now, number 4 is what title issues or different things that arose from trying to close this deal. So number 1 is that this property was owned by the seller's mother, which is the original seller, but the daughter had the power of attorney. And so I had to put that into my assignment contract. The title company wanted me to mention that, and so, yeah, and on top of that, her power of attorney was never recorded with the county. And so she had to bring in the physical copy and at closing. And so they could record it. They actually charged her like a $27 fee to record it on the county's office. So it was a very simple resolution to this problem, but it's something that arose from trying to close this deal. Another aspect is that this seller wanted to live in the house a month after she closed. And so I had to put that in the assignment contract. When I first sent the assignment contract, I didn't mention that and I didn't mention that at all in the verbiage of the contract. And so the lawyer came up and said, hey, you got to mention this, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, okay, what should I put? She told me what to put, and I put it inside the contract. Simple, done. And yeah, those are probably the main issues that I ran into with closing this deal. So hope you all really enjoy this video. I'm going to post more about this deal, more how I was able to pull out from the seller, her motivation and whatnot, and how I was able to find a buyer who was okay with the seller staying another month, and the profit and loss on this deal, because I think a lot of wholesalers do not put that in their videos. Like, okay, how much are you actually taking home profit? And then I'm going to also break down the HUD statement for wholesaling and where the assignment clause goes and other things like that. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to like it, comment down below, and subscribe.